am here. What's going on, my
Oh, you are?
people?
Okay.
What's up, brother?
How you doing, yo? I'm grateful to be on the air. Thank you so much.
Oh, hey, man. Glad you stopped by and stopped through and, you know, want to
We're very happy you stopped by. Jamaica Queens, what's up?
Everything, good things, feeling blessed, and just very grateful. Very grateful.
Cool, very cool. So, what do you got going on right now? You know, I know you're trying to get the, you know, your songs out and everything like that. So, what else is on?
Right.
Still, right now?
Still in love. Still in love right now. Is number 6. Number 6 on Digital DJ, U.S. R&B Top 50 chart. I'm really excited about that. And then it's on Funk Master Flex's Mass Tool chart at number 7. So really happy about that. And you know, to be among, there's a few independent artists on the chart. So to be among like major players in the game that have all this money and all these major label backings behind them, and then to have like little old me, you know what I'm saying? Like on a small label with like teeny tiny budget, you know, that means a lot to me. You know that you know, together as a team, we were all able to do that. You know what I mean? Like the songwriter Jose Carlos Jones, the producer Jay Staff, who's produced stuff for, you know, much bigger acts. You know, he's working with Khalifa and G Unit and all that stuff, and my duet partner Annie Jewel. So, you know, it's more about, you know, I'm very excited, obviously, to be in the top 10. But you know, just like the fact that it's kind of like, you know, like unbelievable. You know what I'm saying? Because of all like the major artists that are there.
All right, so let me ask you this, man. So, and this is such a cliche question, but I have to ask it because I just saw this movie last week. When did you fall in love with hip hop?
Oh.
Where did I fall in love with hip hop?
When did you fall in love with hip hop?
When did I fall in love with hip hop? You know, it's so funny because today is one of my best friend's birthdays, Tennille. Shout out to Tennille. And you know, I always I was always into it as a kid. I was born in the 80s. So I was like into like top 40 80s radio. And then like the early 90s, you know, I started going into high school and I went to night school because I failed of all things gym because I just wasn't an athletic person. Right? I didn't want to go to gym. So I ended up going to night school gym in Manhattan where I met one of my best friends, Tennille, and she just had a pulse on. She lives in Harlem, and I grew up in Jamaica, Queens, and the music sound was very different. You know what I mean? Believe it or not, even though it's both in New York. So at the time, it was the Bad Boy. Like, Bad Boy was coming up and all that, and Puff Daddy and Mary J. Blige and all these people. But like, the people in Harlem, they already had their heads, like, the heads up on everything, like the new stuff before, like, it came out. I don't know how. Like, maybe, like, there was, well, I do kind of know how, because I remember back then they had Hot 97 mixtapes. Yeah. So they were, like, had those, and they predominantly had those more in the city. Like, they had them in Jamaica. They especially had them near the Coliseum, but they really had them in Manhattan, particularly in Harlem. So, like, she would, like, be like, playing me all, like, this new stuff that I hadn't even heard yet in Hot 97, you know, and 98.7 Kiss FM at the time. So, you know, I started hanging out with her more, and, you know, she had all this new stuff, and, you know, I fell in love with it, and I especially fell in love with the emotionality of Mary J. Blige's voice in particular, you know what I mean? Because, like, you felt like what she was singing, and I felt that it didn't, I felt that at the time. I know now she does rock music as well, but I remember back then, me saying to myself, I was like, you know, I can see her doing rock music one day, I can see her breaking barriers, racial barriers, you know, and, sure enough, she did, you know, working with U2 and, like, all these other people. But that's when I really fell in love with it, and that's when I started going to, like, remember Nobody Beats the Wiz? Right. Nobody Beats the Wiz. So I used to buy them then with Tennille, and we used to go buy the Wiz, especially. They had the cassette singles, like, always on sale for, like, 49 cents and 99 cents. So then I would stock up. And we would go. It was back then. It wasn't every Tuesday back then. It was like every Thursday or every Friday back then that they would have the new singles come out. So we would get the Junior Mafia, the cassette single, the Mary J. Blige Total 702, things like that. So 95, 96. That's when I really fell in love with hip hop. And even on my album, No Holding Back. That's the name of the album that the song Still in Love is on. The whole album is it's original material except for one song, but it's the sound is very inspired by that 90s hip-hop R&B sound, you know? Which has been love and hate, because some people love it, and then some of the younger kids that, you know, weren't born, back then they don't understand it, and they're like, what is this corny? This is corny. What kind of music or what kind of sound is this? But then, like, the older, like 20s and 30s, they get it, for the most part. They're like, oh, that reminds me of, they say it, that reminds me of 80s, 90s, and that was the intention.
Okay, well, in that vein, let me ask you this. So, did you ever listen to anything prior to, like anything from the 80s, like anything from like Run DMC, Houdini, Get Fresh Crew, all the.
To be honest with you, I didn't.
Hip-hop.
To be honest with you, I listened to just Top 40 radio. Prior to that, I was like in grammar school, like 87, 88, 89. So they didn't play a lot of hip hop. So I listened to a lot of pop rock. I used to listen to Bon Jovi, and I still love things like that 80s kind of like rock, which wouldn't really be considered rock now, it'd be considered pop. But so I have to say no. Like the only older songs that I remember hearing from the 80s was like LL Cool J, Around the Way Girl, a lot. And again, probably because I lived in Jamaica, Queens Village. I went to Our Lady Lord School, Springfield Boulevard, and then Bayside High School. So honestly, no. I have to say it was like 1994, 95, 96 when I really got into it, like when I got into high school and all that stuff. And I started being allowed to hang out in the city and stuff like that.
That's what's up. That's cool. I was just asking, even like now that you're actually you're in hip hop now. You're putting out records. You're on your way. You know what I mean?
Well, sorry to interrupt you. I actually put out both. The album is hip-hop, but also dance music. See, I have a thing with the 90s. Maybe because that was my teenage years. I'm obsessed with 90s sound. So, like, although most of the album is hip-hop, R&B pop, I do have, like, house music at the end. Like that, like CNC Music Factory, that kind of sound. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually both. So I have both. And I interrupted you. I'm sorry. What was the question? I'm so sorry. That you were asking about that, about the music.
No. I was just saying, as an artist, what, now that you're actually, you're getting your feet wet, you're getting grounded in the whole game.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Have you tried to listen to some of the older stuff lately? Now that you're actually, in it, not when you were growing up per se, but like now. Would you go check out iTunes, go pop in, Funk Master?
Oh yeah, definitely on my Spotify. Absolutely, surely. As far, you mean just hip hop or just any music in general?
Anything. Because anything in general.
Yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I've been going because my new album, which I have not even started recording yet, but I kind of know the direction. I also want to toy with like a little bit of like jazz, like kind of like maybe mixed jazz and pop and hip hop. So I started listening to like all the Grammy-nominated R&B and pop albums, and I'm only on to the 70s now. So I listen to stuff from back when the Grammy started in the late 50s. So yeah, and I was pleasantly surprised when I got into some of the older stuff that I didn't think I would get into. Like Frank Sinatra and all that. I was like, okay, and I was like,
wow,
really jamming it.
Right.
Yeah,
so
seriously.
You're like bringing the whole. You're bringing the whole
Wonder.
into one thing.
Stevie Wonder. I've been falling in love with his music now. I just do like the top 40 hits back then, but I listen to Inversions. I listen to Songs in the Key of Life, which is a long album. I still haven't finished it.
Right.
There was an Pastime. Oh man, Pastime something. I forgot the title. But I've really been getting into him, and listening to him now, I see where a lot of modern hip hop artists probably got their influence. As far as new stuff, I love Miguel. His new album, especially Miguel's new album. I really love Kaleidoscope Dreams. And it reminds me a lot of Stevie Wonder. Yeah.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Let's do this. We can talk about the other artists next time. But right now, you're on here, so we want to talk about you. So let's get some of this stuff in now.
All right.
That's what we want to do. Let's see. We got right here. So introduce that for us, and then we'll play it, and we'll come back on the other side of that.
All right. Right here is actually a 90s inspired house track on my album, The Holding Back. It was a single right before my current one, Still in Love. And this song, I was inspired a lot by, like the CNC Music Factory, Martha Wash, that kind of sound. And the song is basically about me growing up and not giving up on my dreams. And thank you very much. I appreciate that. I break out into a sweat when I sing it and dance to it performing.
Cool. All right, well, check this out. So now I know you're going to start touring. I know you're going to tour eventually. So let me. What would be the best place you would ever want to tour? Ever.
I got to tell you, some of the places that are you talking about cities or like venues?
Anywhere.
Okay,
Venues,
one of the places I always wanted to do, I actually did, and I'm grateful to be doing it again, which is Jacob Javits Center. I'll be doing it. I did it last year, and I'll be doing it again March 9th and March 10th. So that's one of the places that I wanted to perform, and I am performing. I'm sure anybody would say Madison Square Garden, but you know what I would love, even more so than Madison Square Garden, Radio City Music Hall. Really? And I don't know why. I just love the intimacy. I've seen concerts in both. You know what I mean? But I kind of love the intimacy of the Radio City Music Hall thing. So, yeah, I would say that I would love to perform Radio City Music Hall. I did a promo tour last year, which I wasn't going to do this year because this year I'm shooting the film, The Agent, and I have one of the leads. So, I can't travel a lot this year because I got to concentrate on that. But I've been blessed to add a few more dates to a promo tour this year. So I'll be hitting up Atlanta again, Buckhead area in Atlanta, Georgia.
Very cool. All right.
And I'll be doing
Are you coming further south than that?
What's that?
Are you coming further south in Georgia? You going to come?
I'm going to New Orleans. I'll be in New Orleans on March 9th is Jacob Javits Center. Then March 16th. Oh, my manager's going to kill me. It's March 16th or 17th.
All right, well,
I'm sorry. It's March 16th or March 17th in New Orleans.
Lovari, look, just go out there and support. So when you got to come to Florida. You got to come to Florida down here in Tampa.
Thank you. Yeah, it's all on the exact dates are on LavariWorld.com. But I'll be New Orleans is about as further south as I'll be getting this year, I think. So yeah, New Orleans, New York, and Atlanta so far.
All right, very nice, man. That's cool. All right, so let's see. So if any, look, we got people, calling in. Look, you want to talk to Lovari? Call us right now, Crystal Show, 914-338-1233. Call and get call and find out what's going on with him. Speak to him, show him some love, say hello, all that kind of good stuff. So, we're gonna let's play another track. Because we gotta get.
I want to give a huge shout out to the people that have been showing me support, the L fans and all that. You know what I'm saying? I really do enjoy, when I get tweets and, I really appreciate that. And I also want to appreciate the other artists in the industry, both independent and both major that have shown me love. That means so much to me, too. Because, when you're growing up, you admire, so many people. And I worked with a few people that I actually admired on the record. Roby, who was a singer in the 80s, she had One Night in Bangkok, and she was on one of my favorite TV shows of all time, Friday the 13th, the series, and we did a duet on my record. So,
nice, man.
That's amazing. You know what I'm saying? I remember being a kid and, getting the VCR. Don't I love dating myself, huh? Grabbing the VCR and telling my mom, no, I gotta say Friday the 13th. I gotta say Friday the 13th. And on Channel 11, and boom, and then last year we're in a recording studio. You know what I'm saying? I'm just grateful to God. So yeah, definitely.
That's awesome, brother. Tell you what. Okay, give me the name of your website and how can we follow you on Twitter, all that stuff. Let us know.
LavariWorld.com. Lovari, LavariWorld.com is the official website. The Twitter is Lovari. That's my handle. All right. And the Facebook page is Lovari Official. So Facebook.com/Lovari Official. I still love MySpace. Mark my words, MySpace is making a comeback.
Oh my God,
for music. I said it first. So MySpace.com/Lovari. But even as I'm saying that, I didn't update that for a minute. So Reverb Nation, Lovari, everything's Lovari. All the way to Lovari. MTV, I got an artist page on MTV. Really excited about that. So just search me up on the MTV artist page. So everything's just Lovari.
Yeah, talk about
Love is obviously the song that has kind of pushed me. I'm obviously still an independent artist, and everything. And I love, that's amazing. In this day and age, you can be an indie or a major, and you can, still be, on the same, charts and whatnot. But Still in Love is like what kind of pushed me out there more. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is my first top 10 like across the boards. This actually went to #1 on the iTunes new release chart and #1 on the Amazon new release chart. And I was like taking pictures, like putting it on Twitter. I didn't care. I was taking it with my camera phone, like taking a picture of the computer screen. I didn't care. They wanted me to wait, you know. I said, "No, you gotta wait till you put it on the phone." I'm like, "No, no," you know. So I like taking pictures, like look. And to me, that was just amazing because, you know, like now I want to be clear. It did not hit the top 10 of. You know, like when they have the top 100 of the week. It didn't hit the top 10 on the iTunes top 100 of the week, but it hit #1 on their top 100 new R&B releases of the week. So, you know, regardless, I'm still grateful. Well, you know what I'm saying? Regardless, it's iTunes, you know, and Amazon. So that was amazing because that was my first top 10 and #1 on the iTunes and Amazon chart. Like I said, it's #6 this week on the Digital DJ US Top 50 R&B chart. It's #6 on the Funk Master Flex Mass Pool R&B chart, Top 50, #6. I'm sorry, #7 on the other one's #6. And rate like terrestrial and internet radio have been playing this a lot, and it's really hard. I mean, it's hard to get airplay on both, but especially as you know, on terrestrial radio, it's hard. So the fact that some in terrestrial markets are playing this, I'm like, whoa. So this is kind of the song that kind of pushed me, you know, kind of like more into the forefront. And I just want to give a shout out to Jose Carlos Jones, who wrote this song. I actually wrote 80% of the songs on my album, but he actually wrote this one, Mr. Jones from WPK Wolfpack, Long Island. So he wrote this, and Andy Jules had come along with him to the studio because he's a rapper, he's not a singer, but you know he wanted her to come along to show me some of the melodies that he had in his head. And she's singing it, and as she's singing it, in my head, I'm already like, I was like, she's got to be on this record, man. This is a duet. She has an amazing voice. She was also in The Lion King. And, you know, so I was like, will you do this with me? And she's like, sure. And I'm so glad she did because I'm not saying the song wouldn't be good, but she just added a whole new dimension, a whole new layer to it. And the producer of the song is Jay Staffs, and he's worked with Khalifa. He's worked with Juan Diego, G-Unit, Young Berg, and he's from Canada. Right. So huge shout out to him for working with an independent artist such as myself, you know, on a much smaller budget, obviously. Right. And I do want to. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I mean that's cool. But these are not just like some sweep under the rug names you're working with. So, I mean that's cool that they're actually coming down, reaching up. You know, when they're up, they're reaching down to help you up, and that's how it should be anyway. I mean, as far as I'm concerned.
You know, because you know we all get haters. Because trust me, I got that. And like I said, I understand some of it because some of the kids they don't know how the music used to sound. So you know they're going to say like on that Piff I got 25,000. It went bronze, and I was excited about that. But at the same time, I had a lot of young kids dissing, saying it's just a joke. It sounds like comedy. You know, because they're not used to some of the sound or some of the tones. So when that happens, I'm like, hey, man, if you want to be in this game, you got to take the criticism or you're in the wrong, you know what I mean? But then when I see that it makes the top 10 of these charts, I'm like, okay, there's validation. There are people that get it and, people that appreciate it. But I also do want to give a shout-out to Infinite, who she didn't produce Still in Love, but she produced the majority of the tracks on my album, and she engineered Still in Love. And she won the Out Music Award for Hip Hop Artist of the Year 2 years ago.
Nice, bro.
Thank you so much. Big shout out to Annie Jules on the track as well.
That was a good piece. I'm glad you clicked. I'm glad you picked that one, Chris. That was good. Good. I like the groove, man. It was nice.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
and the video should be out in a few weeks.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, word? Okay, so we'll look up for the video, folks. Give him some support, show him love, man. This is upcoming artist right now. He's already established, where I'm concerned, but he's just trying to get higher, elevate that ceiling and everything. So, anyway, also let's talk about this acting that you talk about. Let's talk about this acting for a little bit.
Okay.
So, what's going on with that? Tell me about that.
In SAG-AFTRA, so I'm a member of the Screen Actors Guild and AFTRA, and I've had probably my biggest role that I've had so far was a small part in Salt, the movie with Angelina Jolie.
And I just saw that like a couple months ago. So now I gotta see it again.
Cool.
So I can find it.
I play one of her brothers. So I was in it for about 5 minutes, but yeah, that's then I was in I do actually STU, Law and Order STU. I've been on it for 2 seasons now. One of the precinct detectives. Sometimes we get lines, sometimes we're just there. But it's the just every time they have the precinct scene, I'm one of the detectives there. So grateful to be on that. Big shout out to Ice-T because he's the man. He definitely supports independent artists. He's tweeted about my stuff too. So big ups to him. Actually, big ups to the whole cast. But him as an artist, big ups to him.
I was going to ask if you actually had a conversation with this cat because I mean,
we're nice all the time.
Yeah,
he talks with all of us because he obviously has his dressing room, his own room. The detective we have our own, but he comes in all the time. He absolutely does, and so do his little doggies.
His little doggies.
Yeah, Coco shows up too sometimes. Coco sometimes shows up. I confess I have not. They have a reality show. I got to confess I haven't watched it yet because I don't watch TV, believe it or not. So I watch movies, but I don't really watch TV. So I haven't seen the show, but I'm assuming that they filmed some of the SVU for the show because Coco has been there a few times.
Okay.
His wife. So yeah.
They come with the full show, with all of the cameras and everything with her, so you know that it's part of the reality show?
They don't. I've seen like 2 small cameras because obviously we have, in Chelsea Piers, that's where the studio is, our studio, where we film Law and Order. We have everything. They have everything. So I don't think that, what I've seen is, from what I have seen, when they've come in, it's been like just one, a big camera, but with 4 people only. You know what I mean? So I'm assuming that if they are filming, well, they have to be filming. Why else would they be there? But I assume that they're filming them in the dressing room or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
But they have definitely been there. They've definitely been there. And his son, too. His son made a cameo appearance on SVU. So his son has been there, too.
Nice. Oh. Okay. Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, bro. Well, look, man, this has been really refreshing. I can tell you that right now. It's been refreshing having an actual artist on the show. And, we wish you definitely continued success and everything, dude. So we'll be looking out for you.
Especially coming from Queens, man. Coming from Queens, so, very, very, very grateful. And, Crystal, your books and everything, I wish you continued success on that,
Thank you so much.
And, oh, and as far as acting, my next role, I do have a role in an upcoming film called The Agent, and I'll be playing the lead male character named Van, who it's kind of like a Catch Me If You Can in the vein of that. So he's chasing after a woman who, right before she's about to get caught, she assumes a new identity, and I believe that Tiffany, I Love New York, Tiffany. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I believe that she's in. I'm not sure if she signed on now. Great. I hope I don't get in trouble, but I think she's on. I think. Don't call me on that. And it's directed by Justin Samuel. So we begin production in June. So that should be cool.
Nice,
right,
bro. That's cool.
Oh yeah. Well, we're gonna have you back on. Just let us know when you have time and new projects coming out. Keep us in mind and come back and let us know what's going on.
Thank you so much. God bless you both. Very grateful.
All right, brother. Have a good safe, man. Be safe. Good luck, man. And we'll be looking out for you, bro.
All right. Good night, bro.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Yo, what's good? Your boy Lovari, and like Crystal, I'm representing the Q. You're tuned in to The Crystal Show.